Hi, welcome to the part of the program that answers all your questions on anything to do with relationships. Now, let's get straight in, and today this is a serious question. It comes from someone who wanted to remain anonymous, and he says, I really need your help with something I'm not sure how to deal with. My husband won't be intimate with me unless we watch porn first. I absolutely hate this, but I have no idea how to deal with it. Please help me. I don't know what to do anymore. So let's press the buzzer first of all, because
Is the buzzer enough for this one?
For now, let's press the buzzer. And I think this is so bad. This question is so bad today. We brought in a whip. So I think this one requires
because the buzzer doesn't do it anymore.
Let's go. Let's see if we can do it at the same time. So that's a new one, right? Let me just tell you something. This is very easy to solve. You know that you said it yourself. You don't like this. You hate the fact that this has to be something for you and your partner to be intimate. This is absolutely absurd. You have to stand your ground and say, listen, this is not going to be part of my marriage, of my relationship. I don't want this. I don't think this is acceptable. I think that I should be enough to want you to be intimate with me. If you need a third party, whatever it is, for the person to get going, to want to be with you, then something's definitely wrong. You have to put your foot down and say, this porn will not be a part of my marriage. You make that decision. You have the right to say yes or no to that.
Indeed, and if you choose not to, because this thing with pornography, as we've had specialists on the program before talking about this, it only gets worse and worse and worse to the point that one day he won't even need you to be in the room.
It's an addiction.
He's going to forget that you're there and he's going to do his own thing. It's that bad.
Yeah, it's an addiction.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get better.
Yeah,
it gets worse.
You deserve better than that.
Exactly. So when we say you deserve better, it doesn't mean you have to pack up your marriage. It just means you have to lay down the law and say, I will not stand for this. And if you do that, and you try to help him to try to find out what the issue behind that is, hopefully there is a solution for your relationship.
Well, question number 2 is from Love Talk Live, our seminars. Someone there asked us a question, and it goes, Hello Helena, I was dating someone who I found out was dating 2 other girls simultaneously. Okay, I really loved this young man and I'm completely distraught. I feel broken and have shut everyone out, including my family. I want my life back, but don't know how to ever trust another man. All right, here's what happens, okay? And we talk about this a lot on the program. When you start having feelings towards someone, first thing you need to do is to get to know the person from afar. What do I mean by this? Don't just give yourself to the person. But maybe you haven't physically done that, but in your mind, you already did it. And this is something women do a lot. I don't know if you've come across that, James, but it's like this. The woman or the girl, the young lady or whoever sees that man and she already starts fantasizing. Oh, she can even already think, visualize the whole wedding and everything. And the guy doesn't even know that she exists. So this is very common. So I'm not saying you did this, but I think you surrendered too fast, too soon. And look at you now. I mean, you need to slowly get to know the person and then allow yourself to develop those feelings. Because if this was to happen and you weren't that attached emotionally, then you would be like, you know what, he's lost. I deserve better anyway, and I'm going to get out of this situation because this is not me.
That's what I wanted to say, the point you just made there, that, it's his loss.
Yeah.
Right? Remember that. You've been talking about that you haven't been able to move forward with your life and how bad things are. It's his loss. Move forward. You haven't lost anything. It's not like this relationship was really good and then it went down. It's just that it wasn't good. You were with someone who didn't value you and who didn't value faithfulness and trust. So move forward. You will have someone who values you in the future.
Indeed.
Remember that not all men are the same. The fact that he cheated on you doesn't mean that others will. So
Yeah,
move forward.
learn from your mistakes and move forward. Even if it's hard, just move forward. And you know what? Feel sorry for him because he's so lost.
Absolutely.
This is the kind of person who ends up by themselves because they don't understand what a relationship is about.
That's right. Our final question comes from Brunel, and she says, I've been married for 6 years and have 2 children from my previous marriage. My husband has decided that we should have children, but for health reasons, I can't. He has assured me that this is okay, but I'm afraid he will leave me because of this. I feel scared and don't know what to do. Brunel, I want to tell you 2 things. First of all, a marriage doesn't depend on whether you can have children or not. We've been married for 15 years. We don't have children. We chose not to, and our marriage is great. Mm-hmm. Another thing is that if your partner, if your husband said that it's okay, then you have to believe that it's okay, unless he gives you a reason to doubt what he said. So sometimes the person starts creating things in their head that doesn't really exist. So you start thinking, he'll leave me, he'll do this. And from what you wrote, he hasn't given you any reason to doubt him. So don't. Mm-hmm. If he says it's okay, trust that it's okay. But what if I trust that it's okay and then after all it isn't? Well, you can't live and build your life on a possibility that you don't know if it's going to happen or not. So learn to take him for his word. You've been together for 6 years. Apparently he's never given you a reason to doubt him. So don't doubt him now. And work on solidifying your relationship even more. You already have 2 children from a previous relationship. Work on bringing those 2 children the best way you can.
Mm-hmm. And I would even add to what you just said, just a little something that I've noticed through reading your question is I sense a lot of insecurity. I don't know his background, maybe I don't know where he comes from, if he's English or whatever, but we do know that some cultures, it's good to be able to give more children to your husband and, have a big family and all that. So maybe you do have a bit of insecurity, even though he tells you not to worry, that he's okay with it. So I think you need to deal with yourself. I think the problem is not the fact that you can't have children or that he might not like that in the future. Is that this is how you feel about yourself. Absolutely. And that is the real danger, because when you feel that way, you see things that aren't really there, and then you can create other problems.
Absolutely. So we hope that this helped. Don't forget you can send us your questions to questions@lovetalkshow.tv, or you can also send us your questions via Facebook. Until next time, bye-bye.